guys. We rolled into camp late last night, probably about 1:45. The campsite we found, just fantastic. Ultimately last night, the decision to turn around was a joint decision. No big deal. Found a great campsite this morning. Woke up to a black bear right outside our camp, which was a nice little treat. Tell us about what happened last night, Scott.
It was an adventure. Got off the beaten path, started following the BTC Overland route. Came upon a nice gentleman that told us that there was a nasty hole ahead. And what all guys do, we said we can do it. So we made our way up the road. Hit a couple of decent sized little mud bogs and puddles and stuff, and finally came across the demon last night. But it's been a little squirrely not having the right tires on it, but we're making it through and woke up in a beautiful campsite to Billy chasing a bear.
We had had a long night. We couldn't help but feel a little defeated after getting Tim stuck last night. So we hit some beautiful Michigan country back roads to unwind a bit.
Sandwich making? Yep, we're making sandwiches.
Oh yeah, there.
Yeah, get your sandwich, don't you know? Hey, get out of here with that camera, you hoser!
While trekking along, the team found the pick-me-up we needed.
You need to take that attitude back to wherever you came from. Is that pretty good? Yep. New girl for you. Hold up.
Figured after.
I was going to say something inappropriate on camera.
While we were driving, we couldn't help but think we needed our spirits lifted.
It's like a fun little play area over there if anybody wants to hit those little sand dunes.
Looks like we got a taker.
And while trekking along, the team found the pick-me-up that we needed.
Okay, these guys are crazy. I like it.
So we got to get Carrie, Scotty Downer, on the side of her of the mountain walking up.
Oh my god!
You like put like a bunch of sparkles over her head.
Yeah. Like one of them, some blood from Tommy's eye.
Snapchat app, bike back.
You gotta hang that wheel up in the garage, Tim.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome.
Thanks, Uncle Tommy.
Tell a cool story about it.
The team was revitalized. It's amazing that something so simple like playing in the sand can lift your spirits. We got back on the road and prepared for a busy day of travel and sightseeing. The first stop was the mouth of the Huron River, and what a stop it was.
Matt, what are we doing?
We're destroyer of Overland. I mean, they said it's a Huron River. It doesn't look like a river to me.
Should a river have waves?
No. What's going on? I don't know where I am. I just repeat what I heard. Tommy, tell me what it is. What is it?
This place is awesome. One of the most picturesque beaches in Michigan, the mouth of the Huron was a sight to see. At this point, it was like a newfound energy and wanderlust had been instilled in the team. We got back on the beautiful backcountry trails and headed to our next stop. We pressed on to the town of Houghton, home of Michigan Tech University. The downtown section had an amazing small town feel with beautiful buildings and beautiful scenery all around. We crossed a beautiful bridge to the other side of the river and headed to our campsite. Our next campsite was the amazing McLean State Park, set right along Lake Superior. We rolled in around midday and set up camp.
Holding close, holding tight, let the moon slowly take over on night.
We took some time to clean up the rig since we had been taking trails and playing in the sand dunes.
Lights float around, a million fireflies that never touch the ground. I see your pretty eyes light up as they fly away, heading towards town. I've seen 1,000 signs, too many pretty sights have crossed my way. But you'll always be.
As always, the girls had dinner covered, and I took the time to set up an outdoor office and back up all of our footage. By now, we were a little more than midway through the trip. We'd really begun to hit our stride, and and we aimed to make the last few days of the trip the best yet. Once again, we ended the day with a campfire.
They don't ever get it was the weirdest thing down there.
Single bed,
I remember I went and saw her work
staring
one
at
time.
the ceiling, slowly lean your head, put it on my shoulder and I close.
The next morning, we woke up at our peaceful campsite. We were all well rested, revitalized, and ready for more adventure. The girls cooked us breakfast, and we had a nice morning at the campsite. Soon after, we packed up and hit the road. We were told to check out the Jam Pot. Run by monks of Byzantine rite, the Jam Pot offers many things to satisfy your sweet tooth.
Like halfway through, and I'm gonna need to get water.
That's Houghton Park. Bill, what'd you get? Oh goodness, a little bit of everything. Lemon pound cake, a chocolate coffee muffin, and then a pumpkin with cream cheese. And we're about to go all in.
It was a he robbed them.
I didn't take
He robbed him. He just walked in.
Actually, he's got cash.
Moistened with brandy.
Yeah.
We hung out by the Jam Pot for a while and loaded up on sugar. Right next to the Jam Pot was Jacob's Falls, a nice little waterfall and trail. And that's where Tommy found another snake, so naturally he had to hold it.
What is that?
Black
It's
mamba.
just a little black snake. He's got the coolest colorings though. His belly is completely yellow.
How's his mom gonna raise him?
Mom doesn't raise him.
He's an orphan.
He is an orphan.
Dad's not around either, I hear.
Tommy's gonna love him and hold him, and he's gonna be called Swishy.
That's right. When they're this little, they don't even like know to get pissed off and bite you or be afraid.
I've heard, I don't know if this is true or not. Like,
Copper Harbor is an old mining town that was very active in the 1800s. We spent a good amount of time touring the main part of town, and we did some much-needed relaxing as well. The town is now nationally known for its recreational activities like snowmobiling and mountain biking, which really appealed to us. We visited a beautiful overlook called West Bluff, which is where we said goodbye to one of our cameras.
It's like casualty. Blew right over, man. I had this on my tripod sitting over there, and the wind up here is so crazy that it just straight up blew over.
We then found our most beautiful campsite yet, Keywanna Point. It was so rewarding to finally reach our destination. The journey up to now had its highs and lows, but this was an amazing cap to an amazing journey. In typical Michigan fashion, the flies were atrocious. We gathered around our trademark campfire and reflected on a successful journey.
Hey there, Beth. How's that going there?
going good.
Are you having a good morning?
I'm having a great morning.
The next morning, we were treated to an amazing sunrise and breakfast on the northernmost point of Michigan, with Canada visible right across the water. The night before, there was an intense rainstorm with winds that nearly blew Scott and his motorcycle into the water.
Alright guys, we're out here at High Rock Point, just outside of Copper Harbor in Michigan, the Upper Peninsula, and I am with
Nate and my wife Leanne. We rolled in last night. We live about an hour and a half from here in a little town called Hancock and Houghton, Michigan. And we're just coming up for the weekend, so it's a pretty easy getaway for us. So we loaded up the canoe, loaded up the bikes, and got out here. We saw that our favorite spot had been taken over by a pretty sweet looking setup of overlanders, so we settled in here nicely though. The first time we stayed out here, we were out on the point where you guys were at, and we pulled in and it was dark. It was already probably 11 o'clock and we heard a storm rolling in, and then we heard the winds picking up, and we're inside our trailer wondering how high up the waves are gonna get at that point, the way that it juts out into the lake. But we woke up dry, so that was yeah.
So tell me about your little setup here. Nice little teardrop and the third gen.
So we picked up the teardrop. It's a 2013 we found on Craigslist last spring. We've been looking at teardrops for most of the winter, kind of dreaming, not really finding something that would be in our budget at the time. And this came up on Craigslist. It's a 5x10, which is the trailer size, a little bigger than we had kind of been scoping out, but because of the price and the location, we went and checked it out. Drove down to Wisconsin about 5 hours after work one day, said, yep, we'll take it, and then drove back the next weekend, pick it up and tow it home. The teardrop came as a stock with standard trailer tires, and so we talked to a group out of Munising, Romado, and they were able to say and kind of take care of the
TJ and the boys down there.
That's right, representing.
Right on.
So they were able to come in and take on the project, and we dropped it off in the fall and picked it up in the spring, and we couldn't be happier with the results and what they were able to put on. And
Come on, Scott, come on.
The water was freezing, maybe 50 degrees and below, and Scott and Billy decided to join the Polar Bear Club. And after seeing Scott and Billy in the water, Matt decided to get in too. We all got a good laugh out of that.
All right, jump! Jump! Jump in!
You see that face? Oh!
3 more.
A rocket range was on this site, and it was used like 1964 to 71. And it was Michigan's first rocket to enter. It was launched here from the site January 29th, 1971. And there was a memorial or tribute to this, and it was placed here by, it looks like NASA and Georgia Tech, and I'm not sure what the other one is in the center there, but it was placed here in the summer of 2000 by NASA. Fun fact?
Look at the camera.
I don't want to. The fun fact that we're on the Upper Peninsula, like the uppermost point on the Upper Peninsula at a rocket launch site.
And what lake is behind you?
That is Lake Superior, which is, she's not very nice. We've decided that, so Lake Superior is right there.
Well, we're shooting rockets off here, getting a little squirrely, getting crazy, and then we're gonna go mountain biking. I'm probably gonna take a power nap while one of you die. I'll be waiting for you though, and I'll be ready to drive, you know, and cook some wieners later. Had a good night. We almost all blew into the Lake Superior last night. It was windy. Who would have thought it'd be windy at the edge of a lake in the middle of the night? Great camping idea, guys. You know, we almost lost Big Scott, but you know, it's not much. He's just on a motorcycle anyway. It doesn't look good on camera, so it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. This has been Moments with Matt.
It won't focus. You didn't click it off of automatic focus, did you on the side? I mean, it'll focus once you
This is our videographer struggling to use a camera.
Hey, I broke a Canon camera last night, so I don't even know why this is in my hands right now.
Overlanding to me, I talked about it earlier in regards to when we were at the mouth of the Big Two-Hearted River up there, and essentially Hemingway's short story, it was symbiotic to his way of dealing with what we call in the modern day post-traumatic stress disorder. So what overlanding to me is, it allows me to get rid of all the things from the past, stuff I saw overseas, and then just the hustle and bustle of everyday life, and just to get out here into nature and whip it on. I mean, essentially it's therapy, it's therapeutic. Right now we're at a remote, old school NASA Georgia Tech launch site, just north of Copper Harbor. Essentially, we're at the most northern point of the Keywanna Peninsula here in the UP. Last night we had a remote campsite right here on the tip of Lake Superior, and it was just fantastic. Got a little windy last night, but you know what? It was just absolutely fantastic altogether. Excellent way to close it out. Can't wait to go get on the mountain bikes.
It's just been so quiet this morning. Tommy and I are worried. Is the group morale okay? There's not been one moment of silence in this car, and I'm not sure what's going on back there. I think we're all just in a breakfast coma.
After cleaning up camp, we headed back into town to go partake in outdoor activities. The team was ready to ride the trails and get a little exercise in.
We are at the beginning of US 41. This road here will take us all the way to Miami, Florida, a distance of 1,990 miles. It's a good, what, 15, 16-hour drive straight through? Bold Overland Season 3.
We met some local overlanders, Nate and Leanne, at the campsite the night before, and they offered to show us some of their favorite trails. With them leading the way, we were in good hands, and we could not have been more thankful for their kindness. We did it. We reached our destination. With this season, we were once again reminded of the importance of teamwork. Without each other, not only would the trip have not been as fun, but we would not have learned to rely on each other as we so confidently do now. We are proud to call each other teammates. We are Bold Overland.